Welcome back to Cryptowise, my friends. Of course, I've got the legendary Milton here next to me.
Hello.
Welcome back. We apologize for any of those that were joining us earlier. We did have some technical difficulties. Don't know what happened. The internet went down in the entire building, and there's just nothing we could do about it. So we had to bring the stream all the way back, and here we are now. Fast forward. We are ready to rock and roll. And we are excited because we've got so much left to talk about, Milt.
I know. We were just getting started. Things were getting heated. Things were pumping. Things were going well, and then boom, you invite me all the way here, and the internet goes down. But okay, Marv, let's get right into this because some people, the people who have watched, they were probably here before. Let's just jump right back in and give an update on integrity. Integrity, that's what I was talking about when that internet collapse happened. Anyway, so I just want to give you guys an update on what's going on with integrity because I know a lot of you jumped into the crowd loan like we did because I have been covering this project on the channel for the last few weeks. I love this project. It's a Polkadot Kusama project about data security. So, as we know, as I was saying before, the Kusama parachains, they've been going on for the last few weeks. Integrity was doing really well in the last batch, and they had raised over 12,000 Kusama were lent to them in the crowd loan. I was one of them, and I know many of you were one of them as well. But once that batch ended, Kusama decided that crowd loan is over, that Kusama gets returned to everyone, and they got to start over. So that's what I just wanted to explain here quickly so people understand this. If you were part of that crowd loan, you should have got your Kusama back, and you do not worry, you will be getting that guaranteed tier that I talked about. So the integrity token is called tier. You will be getting some of that when their TGE happens. That's the token generation event. That has not happened yet, and so they cannot give you your tier yet. But once that happens, you will be getting those rewards that you were promised. Now, the next crowd loan has started so that you guys can participate in this one again. If you're interested, if you want to support Integrity again in their Parachain bid, you can do that. Even since we just talked about this in the last broadcast before the internet went down, at that point they were at 1.4 thousand Kusama. Now they're at 1.6 thousand Kusama. So people are jumping into this.
Yeah, you're damn right because I had to jump in there and get a little bit in there.
A little bit of that was Marvin. All right, but this is such a great project. I won't go into it. If you want to watch the videos on our channel, if you haven't seen them, go ahead, watch those. But here is the page that you go to. You go to integrity.network. You come up here, you go to crowd loan campaign, and they've got a great page that explains everything, including all the rewards that you get for loaning them Kusama. Again, I got to say this, with Parachains, you are not buying the rewards. You are not giving them your Kusama. Your Kusama is being locked up by Kusama, and if they win one of the auctions, they get a parachain and you get rewards. And after that parachain lease ends, you get that Kusama back as well as the rewards that you got. They are giving 10% of their allocation of their whole supply to crowd loan people who enter the crowd loan.
Do you know what the estimated reward per KSM is? Johnny Reed would like to know offhand. I looked, I think...
that I don't know offhand. I'm sure it's...
I found it earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know where it is now. I can't. I'm going to have to search for it.
I don't know if they ever calculated it because it's going to be based on how many people...
They had an assumption. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they had an assumption there. Okay. The one thing to know about tier, one of the things I like about it, it's got a very small supply, only 10 million. So even one tier token is going to be worth a lot because of the small supply. So anyway, these are the new rewards. They just posted this today on their Twitter, and they have this all ready. This team is on it. I got to say, the crowd loans just started again. They're on the ball with all this stuff. You can tell that they are a very experienced team and a really serious project. So
yeah, well, I mean, I've talked to a few executives from other large Polkadot projects, and they have said that the integrity team is one of the best, if not the best, technical team in the Polkadot ecosystem.
Yeah, and they're very serious about getting a Parachain early, so they're giving 20% bonus to anyone who backs them before October 24th, which is only a couple of days from now. So make sure you get that 20. If you're going to do this, make sure you do it before the 24th so you get this 20% early bird bonus. And you just do it right here on the page. So they've got the referral program. I did have an old referral from the old crowd loan campaign that I can post. I don't know if it still works for this one. I assume it will. And you just come down here and you need a DOT wallet, a Polkadot.js wallet. All you got to do, the minimum that you can do is 0.1 Kusama. I don't know what Kusama's at. It's probably at about $350. So $35 is the minimum. So you don't need a lot of money to do this. So if you're interested, you can throw $35 at this. You'll get that back 6 months from now or whenever the lease ends. I'm sure that will be worth a lot more, but you'll get a little bit of tier, but you can go up. There's no maximum, I don't think. They have a max cap, but I don't think we have to worry about that. Anyway, so I just wanted to update anyone if you have questions about if you were part of the first crowd loan and you're like, what happened? I didn't get my tier or that. Hopefully this clears it up. You will be getting that tier rewards that you were promised. Do not worry about that. You should have got your Kusama back already. And now, if you want to do it again, the crowd loan has started again. Does that make sense to you, Marv? Did I explain that?
Makes perfect sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm super excited about Integrity. As I said, I'm putting some money into it, into the crowd loan. I'm very bullish on it myself. I know a lot of people that are DOT fans that are in this DOT ecosystem that are doing both Kusama and lining up their DOT for the DOT parachains that are getting involved in Integrity. So, yeah, great call out on that, and big support for them. No question about it.
Should we talk a little bit about the Polkadot parachains? Because as you just mentioned,
yeah, of course.
The
November 11th.
November 11th, right here. If you go to dotmarketcap.com, it's a great site all about Polkadot and Kusama. They have a countdown here, so 21 days. So those of you who have Polkadot out there, if you want to be part of these crowd loans, and if you're staking your Polkadot, which I was, you gotta start unbonding because it takes 28 days to unbond your Polkadot. And as you can see, the first auction is going to start in 21 days. So the clock is a ticking on there. But
you were staking your DOT on the chain?
I was, yeah, through Fearless Wallet.
Oh, through Fearless. And on Fearless, it's 28-day bond period, eh?
All of them are.
Well, no, I mean, I'm getting 8.86% on my sell.
Oh, yeah. So if you're doing it, you can do it through Celsius.
Yeah, that's right.
That's actually, I'm actually really curious about how Celsius is going to deal with this because they're essentially taking your DOT and staking it. And then they're getting rewarded and they're giving you your cut of that.
But are they not also lending my DOT?
They could be lending your DOT, but in certain circumstances,
they're staking it and getting the difference,
taking
the
yield.
difference.
So because if they are staking some of their DOT, they're going to have to unbond.
Well, they're obviously they can move money around, right? So
yeah,
they can take that 30-day threshold.
But if there's a huge rush of people who hold DOT in Celsius, and then they want to, and then on the day one of crowd loan, they would just want everyone starts withdrawing their DOT. That will be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to talk a bit about some of the projects that we're looking at lending our DOT to?
Yeah, of course. Well, there's the main ones, of course. Yeah. Akala, which I got an email from them recently, and a lot of these projects are doing different types of sort of incentives and bonuses to convince you to lend to them, right? Versus some of the other projects. I know Akala had an incentive of, I think it was up to an extra 5 to 7%. I think it's 7%. Yeah, down there, learn skills, increase your rewards. If you scroll down a bit there, you'll see if you complete these simple quests, you get up to 5% additional bonus. Scroll up a bit. I can't read it anymore. Up. Oh, I can't see.
But you're watching the delayed YouTube.
Yeah, well, what are you scrolling down for? Jeez, come on, Milt. And then 500 experience points for an additional 2%. So basically a 7% bonus if you complete these quests. And the quests are simple. Connect your wallet, put in some DOT verify your email, these kind of things. And so anyways, Akala is definitely on the top of my list. It's one of the top projects that I'm going to be putting my DOT to.
Yeah, Akala is a kind of a no-brainer. They already have a parachain on Kusama. It's called Karura.
Karura.
This is it here. So I have a little
Like I'm playing Mortal Kombat. Karura.
Karura. I told you I put a little bit of Kusama in here to try it out. So this is the Karura app here. So this is what Akala is going to look like. Basically, they're a DeFi parachain on Polkadot and Kusama. And this is a working product. It's already here. They do a bunch of different things. And they're also going to be doing liquid staking where you can stake Kusama or DOT through Karura or Akala. You get the liquid staking token and you can use that within the DeFi world. So even if you're staking, that money can still be used in other ways, which is very innovative. These guys are top notch. This is blue chip. Okay. This is no brainer stuff. We're not telling you if you're into Polkadot, there's nothing that you already know about Akala, but that's going to be the #1 parachain, November 11th. Akala is going to win, but you and I are both going to be lending them Polkadot because we want some Akala.
I want some Akala. Get me some of my Akala. Yeah, I want as much as I can. I've got a big DOT. You know I got my big DOT bags.
Oh, we all know. Yeah, I know
I got my big DOT bags. I've been accumulating dot for a long time. And so I am so excited for these parachains because I want to spread that DOT around. Because I ain't selling any of my DOT anyway. So what do I care? Yeah. I want to earn on my DOT. I've been earning 8.86% on DOT through Sell. I was earning through Binance for a bit as well, but now I've got it mixed in and around, and I'm getting great rewards. And I've just been waiting for the parachains.
Yeah, this is going to be, and it's going to be locked in for 2 years for these top projects. They're definitely going to be going for the 2 years.
Don't tell my girlfriend.
Oh, this internet here is getting a little bit slow. But just looking at Polkadot now, I mean, if you're out there and you don't have Polkadot yet, it has been pumping the last few weeks, but I think it's going to keep pumping towards the parachains. We might see a bit of a dump after the parachains, which is kind of weird because a lot of DOT is going to be, locked in, and then the supply is going to be low. And somehow this is what happened with Kusama. Even after the parachains, when a bunch of Kusama got locked, somehow the price went down. So we might see that again with DOT. But if you don't have any DOT, I definitely highly recommend get yourself a little bit at least so you can play around with the parachains. Because if you're into crypto, you want to learn about where we're going with interoperability, then that's really what you want to do. Is you want to get yourself a little bit of DOT, even if you're not going to go big on DOT and you're more into Solana or you're more into Ethereum or whatever. Get yourself a little bit of DOT. What do you got to lose? Join some of these crowd loans and just see how it goes, because I really think that this is going to be a huge, huge ecosystem, and you're at the very beginning of it, and they're doing things that no other network is doing. We already saw on Kusama, there's cross-chain liquidity happening between Bifrost and Karura. There's a lot of different things happening there that if you get a Polkadot wallet going, if you try it out, because it's different than Ethereum and stuff, it's really worth trying out.
All right, so Akala aside,
yeah.
What's the next one for you?
Well, the next obvious one is Moonbeam. Moon River already came out, and that's their parachain on.
Have you decided on a breakdown, like what percentage you're going to put into Akala, what percentage you're going to put into Moon River? I know I'm definitely going to add some to Kilt. We did that on the Kusama.
No. Kilt's not getting one. Kilt's not doing a parachain.
They're not?
No, they got their parachain on
Kusama. They're not going for a DOT one.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had it in my allocation on my spreadsheet.
Nope. You can free that up and go somewhere else.
Okay.
So I haven't quite decided yet. The only ones I've 100% decided on are Akala and Moonbeam, because those will be the first two. I love the team at A-Star and Shiden. And Shiden actually is one of the
A-Star, Shiden. A-Star, we also, guys, for those of you that don't know, we interviewed the CEO of A-Star a while back now.
Yeah.
So go check that out in our Cryptowise chats.
Sota Watanabe, this one here.
Sota
Yeah.
Watanabe.
He's building something really cool with Shiden and A-Star. So I think A-Star will be on my list. But those ones are kind of the obvious ones. When you get down, this is the interesting thing now, because Kusama's going to be doing boom, 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 back to back parachains. Now, I think there's going to be up to 48 parachains in a row. So there's going to be projects that get like integrity. There's going to be, Kylan has announced that they're going to be actually just going for a Kusama parachain first. There's Kilt's going to be on there. I think there's going to be a lot of projects that get their Kusama parachain and then just kind of hold off and wait for DOT for a while, get used to having a parachain on Kusama. So there's a lot of projects that I'm interested in that I think won't actually go for a Polkadot parachain for a while. One I think that's going to be in stealth mode is one of my favorite projects, which is the Sora network. Now, Sora...
You talk a lot about Sora.
Well, Sora is one of the best projects on Polkadot. They've already launched PolkaSwap. They already have their whole network ready to go. They're not even waiting for the parachain. They're like way ahead of everyone else right now. And they'll just plug into a parachain. I think theirs will come a lot sooner than some people think. And once they plug into a parachain, that means PolkaSwap is going to be part of that ecosystem. You're going to be able to do cross parachain swapping, more liquidity. So I would say PolkaSwap right now, XOR.
PDEX. Clover Finance is another one that we want to look at as well. Clover Finance underperforming in my opinion, but where's Clover? There they are. They're already tested on Rococo, as well as Crust, Darwinia. So there's a lot of, you got to go real deep into the DOT network. Now, EWT, Energy Web, they haven't tested on Rococo yet. I'm curious. I want to dive deeper into EWT to find out what their plan is in terms of Parachain.
We know that Gavin Wood has been involved with those guys for a long time, so I'm not too worried about that. If they haven't tested it, they might. Some of these projects it's hard to know exactly where they are. Like most people in crypto, you're used to checking GitHub and seeing like how many commits happen. Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting way to see how active a team is. But something like Integrity, they've been ready forever, and they're not. You can't access what they're doing on GitHub. So it looks like they're not really doing anything. No, they've been building something for 3 years. They're ready to deploy. Energy Web has their blockchain that's out there on, it's their own blockchain. So I'm sure that they have a plan for how they can build that in Substrate and be able to plug into to the Relay chain. Super exciting times for the entire DOT ecosystem, Milt. This is the month to make your moves. I think and even when it comes to DOT, guys, I've said it over the last couple of weeks. I think in terms of entry points, these are entry points that we likely won't see again for a very long time, in my opinion. I just think we'll get some dips along the way. But when it comes to Polkadot, I mean, look at Solana, you look at some of the other ones, you look at Cardano, and some of the other ecosystems that were a bit further along before DOT, and where they're at now compared to where they were. This is early days for Polkadot. Yeah, I mean, this is historic. Like we're at the very beginning of what could be, one of the major networks out there, the very beginning of parachains existing and how that all works, interoperability. So what you got to do, as Marvin's saying, you got to go deep into Polkadot, because some of these projects have launched tokens on Ethereum, and you got to go, okay, so if they have a token already in the world, how does that work for their parachain? It does get quite confusing, I have to say. For the average Joe getting into crypto, this whole Polkadot ecosystem is quite confusing, because you got Kusama, you got Polkadot, you got parachains and test networks, you got Rococo, you got all these things going on. And so we're just trying to simplify dumb this down a bit. You've got Kusama parachains that have been around and they're going on, right? Yeah. Which was the original Polkadot test network. Yeah, they call it their canary network. It's more than a test network now.
right?
But you know what's interesting, Marv? I don't know
It's
if you
evolved.
heard this news. So yeah, people get confused because there's Polkadot, the big chain, and then there's Kusama, which is a kind of a smaller, more experimental chain that they can try things out on before they move it to Polkadot. You know who announced they're going to do the same thing?
No.
Cosmos.
Yeah?
They're building a canary net because they saw
Wow.
what Polkadot was doing and they were like, oh, that's really useful actually to have that model. They're going to be creating a canary chain for Cosmos.
Is it useful? I mean, it is useful, but
As an investor, it's confusing because
as an investor, it's confusing.
Okay, the perfect example is Moonbeam and Moon River. Okay. So Moon River is out there now. This is the Kusama project of Moonbeam. Okay. So they have first mover advantage, pun intended. And, you're seeing all these dApps now launching on Moon River. Okay, you're going to have all these huge dApps. We saw the graph is moving there. Recently, I had another one open that.
Wow, it's up to 353. Last week it was at 250. It is moving. It is moving.
It is.
I have to agree though because
it is a mover.
It is a mover. I wanted to buy some last week, but in the back of my mind, I'm saying, you know what? With Parachains coming on the 11th, why am I investing on the Kusama side of things?
This is what's really fascinating, and it is confusing as an investor. I don't know. I said this in one of my videos. I have no idea how Moonbeam, which is the Polkadot project of Moon River, is going to affect Moon River and mover prices when it launches. And I know some people out there say, no, Moon River is going to be the one. Other people say, no, Moonbeam is going to be the one. Other people say it doesn't matter. Both of them are going to be amazing. What I know is no one knows because this is the first time we've ever seen anything like this.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. I mean, look, for any of the companies that I own, if I could just say, hey guys, we're going to have two classes of common shares that you can invest into, and this one we're going to start from this day, and this one we're going to, oh, it's beautiful. I got two streams of investor revenues coming through for the same project, basically.
Yeah, and this is where you have to be very careful and really look at the tokenomics. Okay, so Moon River was very organic. They didn't do pre-sale or private sale and all that stuff.
That's right.
Only the people who invested or lent them the Kusama for the crowd loan got a lot of mover. But Moonbeam, they did all those private sales and stuff like that. There's a higher token max supply and stuff. So how does that affect it? For me, for the blue chip prospects, how I'm dealing with it, Marv, I'm getting both. Okay, but not a lot. Okay, so I bought a little bit of Moon River last week or a couple weeks ago. So I have a little stash. I'm using Moon River. I'm ready to use the dApps that happen on Moon River. As we saw, actually, Ocean Protocol, one of my favorite altcoin projects, they launched on Moon River.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
right.
this is it right here. I'm attached on Moon River right here with my MetaMask.
I'm writing your wallet down immediately.
Better hide that. So they're already there, and there's going to be hundreds of dApps launching on Moon River very shortly. But now that we know when the dot pair chains are happening, what's that going to do? Because Moonbeam's going to be out there before the end of the year, probably.
Yeah. Now, IE says that Moon River is way better for the community because 89% of the token supply is going to the community.
Now, and that's a point. I get that.
It's a valid point. It is a valid point.
But long term, when all the dApps going to end up on Moonbeam, and then because they want the better security of DOT,
Right.
like something like Sushi, which is a huge DeFi platform, it's launching on Moon River soon, but is it going to stay there or is it going to eventually go on DOT because that's where the security is?
Now, all this stuff isn't just confusing to the investors. It is also confusing, Milt, to the projects themselves. As these projects are putting together their plans in the initial stages over the last couple of years, trying to define their path forward, they've had to pivot through the growth of these two ecosystems.
That's true.
Kylan being one of them, right? Kylan being a project that we've been paying a lot of attention to, and we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, in later videos and stuff like this, but they made a special announcement recently.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked to Dylan Dudney. He was one of our first interviews on Cryptowise Chats. He's the CEO, or he's not the CEO. He's got a different title, but one of the founders of Kylan Network. We've been huge fans of Kylan from the very beginning. Still am.
Yep.
And he said at the time, and he was pretty honest about it. He said, "Look, when we were planning Kylan, no one in the Polkadot ecosystem thought that Kusama was going to turn into what it has turned into." So he said, we are just preparing for a parachain on Polkadot. We're not going to worry about Kusama. Then he realized, they're ready to deploy their main net. And he's like, well, if I wait, it's going to take me way longer to get a parachain on Polkadot than Kusama, because Kusama's already ready. There's already 11 of them out there. There's going to be 48 weeks in a row of new parachains. So they just came out and said they're going to be launching a new side sister project, the way that Moonbeam did, the way that Akala did. And there's been huge discussion within that community about how do you do that fairly without, really going against the people who supported you by buying Kylan already, because they're launching a new token, the Pichu token or whatever it's called.
Pichu.
Anyway, it's a big discussion. I'm going to be making actually a whole video about it.
Good, because we're getting a lot of questions about it, and I think a lot of people want some clarity around it. One thing I can say is Kylan and the team have been doing a phenomenal job about being as transparent as they can. They're not perfect. No one is in this space, but they're doing a phenomenal job. And I do think that even though there is a bunch of discussion about this, you do have the ability, you can choose, right, to swap.
Well, no, I'll go through it because it's just too much.
We'll talk about that.
They've updated it. It's actually not a swap anymore. It's going to be an airdrop. So I'm going to do a video about it. It's too much to talk about here.
You got it.
IE is talking about Remark, and he's saying Remark is not mover. Yeah, I get that Remark is not mover. Remark is an NFT project on Polkadot and Kusama, but they're not going after a parachain. So they've done a whole different model where, they've pretty much allocated most of their tokens, which they created on Statement, which is the community parachain that is launched on Kusama, where you can create a token there on Statement. Anyone can go create a token. That's what they did. They're not going the parachain route. So that's another interesting case study to see how Remark does. I love Remark. I think it's a great project. We'll see how they do. We'll see how the token does. I don't know. This is all, speculation. For me, I want to have as much exposure to Polkadot and Kusama and the projects as I can, because the quality of the teams, the quality of the tech is incredible. And I'm just looking through these projects here, and almost all of them, I'm like, I would love to own some of this. And not all of them are going to work, obviously, but because most of them are going to be layer one, blockchains on their own. There's a lot of work and thought has gone into them. The teams are amazing, so that's where most of my energy is still in. I know that if you watch this network or this channel, you're saying, "Oh, these guys talk about Polkadot so much." Yeah, we're talking about 200 blockchains, which are each a layer one to themselves. And this really is where most of my money is going to be going.
100%. It is very, very exciting times for everybody who's getting involved in the entire Polkadot Kusama ecosystem. This is such early days. These are the times that we're going to look back on in a few years from now and say, why didn't I put more? Why didn't I allocate more to the Kusama parachains and the projects that I had an opportunity to? Unfortunately, we just don't all have all the money in the world to do that. So we have to be selective. Dive deep, guys. Dive as deep as you can into researching the projects that you want to back in this process. But one thing I feel extremely confident of is how successful DOT will be as a whole. And so, not financial advice, but at the same time, guys, I just feel super, super confident that if you get involved in DOT and in this space, you're going to be very happy long term.
This is a good question here, also by Dan H., which has to do with Polkadot. So we were talking earlier on the previous carnation of this show, which died and which no one will ever get to see, about bear and bull cycles. Mm-hmm. So he's talking about, okay, what do you think is going to happen to DOT if Bitcoin crash is, say, next summer or next year sometime. Because once the parachains happen, okay, so you're going to have, we don't know what percentage of DOT is going to be locked for 2 years, but it's going to be big. It's going to be probably 50, 60% of all DOT. Then you're going to have another 30, 40% of all DOT staking.
Right.
We've never seen anything like this before. So it's really interesting to see what's that going to go. So Dan H., I can't really answer that question, although I would say that if there is a bear market coming and there is a big crash, I want to be in Polkadot more than anything else, because you would think that, at least in theory, there's going to be some protection there.
Yeah. Listen, I agree 100%. I'm with you 100%. That's why I have such a huge allocation of my portfolio. And we talked about this earlier too, that we think we should showcase each of our ultimate portfolios, right? I took a chunk of my Bitcoin and my Ethereum, because those were my two largest bags by far in my portfolio a year ago. And now DOT is my largest holding out of all of that, right? And that's because my belief that even though I do think there'll be volatility in the market, I agree with you. I don't think the volatility is going to be the same as what we saw in 2018. I think it's going to be different. I don't think that we're going to have the same type of bear. I think that...
Also, can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a sec, Marv? I would say, okay, so Polkadot right now is at like $43 or whatever it's at. I think it would go to, so you're locking it in. Say you lock in your DOT right now, you buy it for $40, you lock it in. I think first of all, I think if there is a crash, it's not going to happen until DOT has hit $150. So it might crash back down to 40, but do I think it's going to crash down to 20, 10, 5? Maybe. I don't know. Anything could happen, but I'd say unlikely. And then I would say, do I think DOT is going to be worth more in 2 years from now? Mm-hmm. I would say, yeah, probably is going to be. Mm-hmm. So lock it up and don't even worry about it.
Listen, guys, if we see DOT go back to what we saw, $13 again, after we did in the last correction, I will be absolutely shocked. Okay? Absolutely shocked. But I'll tell you one thing, Milt. I believe we will see corrections along this path. No question. And I am building a bag alongside to buy these dips. Do I think we're going back to 13? I don't think we're going to see 13 again for DOT. I just don't think we're going to see it for a very long time. And if you do, it's going to be fast and furious, pop back up. I do think that we're now exploring new phases of where probably the new lows for DOT will be in these areas. I don't think it is unrealistic to say DOT will be $100, $150, $200 over the next few years, in the hundreds, mid-hundreds and above. Don't forget, when you're matching these market caps, okay, of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, so forth and so on, and you say, oh, well, if DOT does a 4x from here, it's going to be this percent. Yeah, but the entire crypto space is growing alongside it.
Yeah.
Right? And so if Polkadot does a 4x, well, listen, Ether's probably doing a couple x too in terms of its market cap. And it's still a fraction. I just can't, I can't say how excited I am enough about this. Now, people are asking what percentage of your portfolio is in DOT for me. And the truth, Milt, you know this. I haven't talked about this.
Yeah, I know this.
But in the last couple of weeks,
people are going to be shocked.
In the last couple of weeks, I sold the majority of my Bitcoin and Ether over the last little while. Okay. And I am almost 75% DOT right now.
He's not kidding. He's not kidding.
Over
folks.
75% DOT right now. I did it the day before the conference. I called Milton and I said, Milt, I'm selling, and I'm buying DOT. And he said, oh, well, the conference, but Gavin's not going to make a special. Now he's just not who he is. And he didn't make this big announcement that people hope. But at the same time, they announced the parachains, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, DOT is coming up. Now,
okay, that is true, and I'm jealous of because you have more DOT to me. No one loves DOT more than me. Okay, I go to bed at night. I'm just reading about DOT. Okay, I love DOT, but Marvin has more than me because I'm more of a conservative investor. But you know what happened to me recently, Marv, which was exciting?
What's that?
The great flippening.
Woo boy!
My DOT, because it's been doing well the last few weeks, has flipped my ETH I have more.
Wow.
I have more value in DOT than ETH. So I probably have, I don't know what the percentage is, but it is now my second biggest holding besides Bitcoin.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's huge. So, listen, I am the Kusama warrior, okay? I am. Thank you. And Milt, it's all thanks to Milt here. But I've got behind it. What percentage is of KSM? Well, I got to be honest with you, okay, guys? You're probably not going to like the answer to this. My Kusama bags are a small fraction of my DOT bags. And that's because I have trouble understanding. Now, I'm seeing the value day to day in Kusama. But at the same time, I am a true believer in the primary of the umbrella corp, right? In the primary of the umbrella corp. And to me, that is Polkadot. And so because I've been investing in companies and markets for a long time now. I'm not that old, but I've been in it and I've seen it. And I know that Kusama is staying around now. I realize that. If you would have asked me a year or two ago, I would have said Kusama is coming and it's going. Now that's changed. Fair. But at the same time for me, I'm going to bet my money on the primary, and the primary is DOT. And when DOT Parachains launch and we fast forward a year from now, I believe that DOT will be what you're talking about much more than Kusama. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and I'm making that bet too. I've talked a lot about it on the channel already. I was all DOT. I had no Kusama until when? When did I buy Kusama?
Yeah, you were late to the game.
But I wanted to get into some of the crowd loans, so I bought some Kusama.
Here.
And now, getting into using Karura and using, some of the NFT stuff that's going on there. I've got some Kusama now, but definitely a tiny fraction compared to my DOT. And, I just wanted to have a little bit, but I'm like you, I'm putting my bet on DOT. And most of it is a bet on Gavin Wood. Let's talk. I mean, this guy is really, when you're putting money towards these projects, team is such a huge part of it.
No question.
Who's the genius behind it? Gavin Wood is one of the geniuses in crypto, clearly. And so if he thinks DOT and Kusama can coexist, but DOT is the bigger and kind of more is going to be the longer term established network with more security and stuff, then that's kind of where I'm putting my long-term investment.
Yeah, now I agree. Listen, we got a good question here.
All right.
Because this is actually something I wanted to bring up at some point, but I totally forgot to even talk about it. We're going back to NFTs here, but in Polkadot and Kusama. And I just want to bring this up real quick. Okay, Milt?
All right, bring it up.
Can I bring this up?
Bring it up.
The Substra Punks and the Cello Bricks on Unique. The Substra Punks and the Cello... Now, okay, calm down, because Milt brought this to me, okay? He brought this to me, and he called me, he said, I got to tell you something. I got a Substra Punk and I got a Cello Brick. And I said, what are you talking about? And anyways, long story short.
Okay, but show them the cellos. Show them the cello.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen, these are the punks. There's the Cello Brick and the Substra Punks. Now, if you're a DOT fan, you're a Kusama fan, listen, if you're an NFT fan, I would recommend, just not advice, financial advice, but my recommendation would to be pick one up, pick one of each, because not only are these, in my opinion, sort of the legendary NFTs, going to be the legendary NFTs for the entire DOT ecosystem.
I agree.
At the same time, they have a utility. And what is that utility? Well, if you own a Cello Brick and a Substra Punk, if you own one of each, you get to share the royalties of Unique, Polkadot's NFT marketplace.
And who told you all that, Marv?
I think I read about it in a book one day.
Unbelievable.
These are really, really cool. You can get them on UNQNFT.io.
Okay. Also, someone's asking, can you buy them on Remark? No, they're not on Remark. They're on Unique, which is another NFT Parachain project. We're going to be talking a lot about Unique on the channel because we love Unique. But I want to just point out this thing about Cello Bricks, okay, because... You know where I got my Cello Brick? No. Ask me how much I paid for my Cello Brick.
No,
Marv.
it pisses me off. Okay, how much did you pay for your Cello Brick?
$0. Okay, I got my Cello Brick. Unique was doing a presentation at one of the Polkadot conferences, Decoded, and I was watching that, talk, And a reward that they gave everyone at Decoded was a cello brick. At the time, I didn't know what the heck Unique was. I didn't know what a cello brick was. But of course, I said, yeah, I want one. So I signed up. I got my cello brick. And I got it for free. So that is just a lesson to people. Get your hands dirty in crypto. Get out there. Go to the conferences, the online ones. That was free. Decoded
And what did you pay
free.
for? What did you pay? I know, it's amazing. I'm really jealous because I paid quite a bit for my cello brick, but I like him. Okay, he's got a crown. He's quite rare. What did you pay for your Substrapunk?
So Substrapunk I got in later because Unique announced that if you had one of each, you would share in the royalties. So I was like, of course, I'm going to get a Substrapunk. And at the time, I think I paid 0.7 Kusama for mine.
See, still cheap. And guys, no one's talking about these yet. Unique is not marketing this, by the way. They're not pushing any of this.
No, they're not pushing any of this. This is down.
If you're deep, you know about these. Okay, you're an OG. You're an OG in the Polkadot space. So we're bringing it to your attention now. And full disclosure, I own one of each. Milton owns one of each. They're not for sale. Don't even ask.
Don't even ask.
Don't even ask.
Those are 2 NFTs I will be keeping forever.
Yeah, for a long time. I think there's. I'm very happy I now have them.
All right, Marv. I
yeah.
want to talk a little bit because there were a lot of questions, also a lot of comments about Kylan in the comments. So I just want to talk price, Kylan price and stuff, and where we're at with the Kyle token and what I'm going to be doing and stuff like that, because this is a project we've talked a lot about on the channel, and I'm going to be doing an update video and talking about Pichachu and their new strategy, but I'm not going to be talking about price action or token in that video. So let's talk a little bit about it now. It's sitting at 24 cents. It had a dip over the last couple of days when they announced this Pichachu thing. It scared people. Pichachu! And, because it was sitting in around 28 cents. And then this crash here is when they announced that. And they didn't do the best job of that announcement, but they did a really good job of listening to the community and adjusting. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in my video. But honestly, look, everyone who watches the channel knows I've been waiting for Kylan. I was waiting for it to launch. Back when it launched, I bought a bunch. Most of it I got at around 60 cents-ish. So, but I'm holding. I got a lot of Kylan. I'm holding. But I think here is a great price to get in at Kylan, not financial advice. But if you want to wait until really all the information about Pichachu comes out and that kind of, you can loan them Kusama to get Pichachu for free and not worry about Kylan. Or if you think eventually Kylan is going to be, a great investment because it's going to be on Polkadot. Look, I love the project. Decentralized data on Polkadot is going to be huge. Kylan has been there from the beginning. So I'm holding Kylan long-term, and I'm going to be getting some Pichachu, obviously, for holding that, and I'll be explaining that. But for those of you who are wondering, would I be selling Kylan right now at 24 cents?
No.
100% no, I would not be selling right now.
No. I won't be selling my Kylan either. One thing I will say is the team is transparent.
Oh, yeah.
They're transparent.
And the team has been growing, okay? And they've been doing a lot of work. They're ready to go. They've been doing really innovative work around fractionalizing NFTs and being able to do data marketplaces around that. So long term, I'm not worried about the project. In terms of the tokenomics, I will say this about Kylan, though. This was one of the huge mistakes that they made, was their private sale. And this is something that a lot of projects go through. They sell a bunch of their token to venture capitalists, to private investors. They sell it at a fraction of what it ends up launching at. And really, they had a 1-year vesting, I think, on that private sale. But we saw a huge sell-off from those private sale investors. So whoever they chose to get in on the private sale,
they weren't the right investors.
Were not the right investors. So that's something that I learned a lesson about from Kylan, and I am way more picky now when I look at, okay, what was the private sale? What's the vesting of that private sale? And if I have connections and I can ask around, I'll be like, who did they sell that to? And where is this token going?
I don't blame them. Listen, I'm not happy that they did that, but I also don't blame them. They made a huge return, right? A lot of people are in crypto to make money. So listen, I'm a capitalist. They got their money. They made a big return. Kylan, unfortunately, if you talk to them, they'll tell you if they did it again, they would have spread that out a lot better. But people invest to make money. A lot of people made a lot of money getting in early. They took the risk and they got out.
Look,
it is what it is.
I don't blame those investors, but if you're Kylan, next time you better know. If you're trying to
100%.
build a community of
100%.
investors on your thing, you don't want guys who
That's
are
not
just
what you want.
for the flip. The timing of it was also terrible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of the people like to chirp. Like you were talking about, this project or that project in March or April,
Right.
and it tanked. Well, yeah, it tanked. So did the whole market. What do you think? Like, these guys have superpowers? If the whole crypto markets, these altcoins are tanking, I don't care what altcoin you are. And, but with something like Kylan, which I've been so strong about from the day one, I still believe in it as much now as I did then. Do I wish I could buy in at 24 cents instead of 60? Yeah, of course. But I'm not worried.
Or $1.50.
I'm not worried long term. But another one of those projects, Marv, that we've been on since the very beginning.
Yeah.
They're showing some life, bud.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. For all you haters out there that chirped us and came after me in our Telegram, look at it now. I told you. I may have told you a bit early. I apologize. If you got in a bit early, I apologize. Well, not early. If you got in early, you've already done really well. But if you came in at its peak, I'm sorry. But here, I'm not sorry. I'm taking it back because Lix is on its way. And Milt, these guys, I have to say, they didn't do a great job at launch, okay? They got ahead of themselves. They launched prematurely. They didn't focus on the front end. People want to see optics. They didn't focus on it. They were really focused on making a secure product that works, and they sure as hell did it. And now, over the last week, they launched their new site, which looks really good, by the way. And next week, they're launching the new app. And what we've seen over the last 3-4 days is a lot of money starting to pour in to this app. People are locking up their money in Lix, and Lix is making moves. So if you bought some Lix at $1.50, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, you're doing well, okay? And if you bought it above where it's at right now, I wouldn't worry one bit. I would either stake it, add some liquidity, earn some more, or just chill out, take a seat, because this thing's on a ride.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new viewers since we last kind of talked about Lix, because we talked about it before it launched because we loved the idea. It's attached to Uniswap version 3. If you're into adding liquidity to DEXs, you know that Uniswap version 3 came out, and now you got to manually make sure you got your liquidity within the right range, because if you don't, you're not going to get as much rewards for it. So Lix is automating all that. Now, since Lix launched, when Lix did this and they talked about it, they were one of the very first projects doing this. Now, a lot of other ones have been trying to do this and are coming out to do this, but Lix has been working on this for a long time now. The reason we love it, it's a micro cap still, even after this pump. Okay, Marv, it's been pumping like crazy the last week or so, right? Okay, it was down at $2. Now it's at $9.70. That's in 1 week. Okay, people, $2, it's at $9.70. It's still a market cap of $10 million.
I know. There's only a supply of 10 million.
That's why I love this. It's a beautiful, if people are looking for a hidden gem, Lixer is definitely on my list. Lix. And this is the thing, I'm going to also make a video on Lix because you know that I really like this project. And you're right. And we say this because we're honest, we're transparent, is this team did not launch properly. They were launched way too early. They did a terrible job of their original launch. But this is why you got to give the good project some time to mature. Because we knew, because you and I have a mutual friend, and they said to us, the team behind Lix, the coders, the devs, are the real deal.
They were. And I got a chance to ask them some tough questions, and I can tell you, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not marketing guys. They weren't. They brought on marketing guys, finally. Thank you. But they know what they're doing when it comes to tech, the tech behind this.
Only available on Uniswap version 3. But okay, so this is what I want to say about Lix too. So, okay, it's got a market cap of $10 million. It's got a small supply like Integrity. I forget what the total supply, 10 million tokens. So it's a small supply. So at $9.70, it's a tiny market cap. If you're interested, I would recommend following this guy at DeFi Sean. I don't know who he is, but he basically has the Licks. I don't know if he's on the team or what's going on. He's got the Licks logo behind his little avatar here.
That's cool.
And every day, pretty much, he tweets out what the APY is on Licks and what the total value locked is. They're up to almost 5 million total locked. Okay, that might not sound like a lot. Last week, this was under 1 million.
You know what's funny, Milt? I got some random anonymous message on Telegram a week ago. Some guy I've never talked to, I've never met. I don't know who the hell he is. He just DMs me on Telegram. And he says, Marvin, remember your pick Licks? Buckle up.
Whoa.
Buckle up and enjoy the ride. And then literally 24 hours later, the pump began on Licks. And we started seeing the volume come up.
Who is this guy?
I have no idea. I asked him, who are you? He said, I'm a fan, but I have close ties to the team. Buckle up. You're going to enjoy the ride. And look, here we are.
Yeah, I got to say this, okay, because this is a very important point. I'm not doing a video on Licks yet because I'm waiting for them to redesign this app.
Yeah, because
it's gonna be happening very soon. This is the app here. They got to redesign it because you see these APYs, it says 6%, 14%, 28%. Wrong.
They're wrong.
They're not even the right APIs. And it's pumping even though the app looks like this still and the APYs are wrong. But this is why I follow this guy. So these are the true APYs if you farm. So if you have Licks in your wallet and stake it, you get higher APYs for your liquidity. Okay. USDC ETH liquidity pool in Lixer is 1,432% right now. If you have the boost, then you're looking ETH Lixer 300%. WBTC ETH 247%, and this is liquidity on Uniswap. You're not adding liquidity to some DEX that you don't know about. This is basically a project that is saying we will automate your Uniswap liquidity for you, get you the very best return, and if you hold Licks and stake it, then we'll boost that return for you. So yeah, in terms of it, people are always like, "What's the hidden gem?"
What's the hidden gem? Well, for me, it has been Licks. And over the next month, all dot stuff aside, Licks is my altcoin gem. It's there. I'm with it. At a 10 million cap, with the new app coming, seeing the total value growing in terms of locked monies, watch Licks.
Yeah.
Put it on your BIDAR.
Yeah.
Watch it, because I think it's going to grow, and it's going to grow real fast.
It's not even on like DeFi Llama and all these places, so people
Is
can't
it even on
really
CoinMarketCap?
It's not even on CoinMarketCap. You got to find out CoinGecko. Like, it's so under the radar, this project. I think when they do that, when they launch the new UI, and this, and the APYs are correct and all that kind of stuff. Once we see liquidity over 10 million, 20 million, that kind of thing, then the price of Licks is going to skyrocket.
Now,
I think.
talking about hidden gems, I know I brought this up, Milt, earlier, but I know that the show got all screwed up, right?
Yeah.
Hidden gem. Licks aside, on the NFT side, because I've been covering a lot of NFTs, this project, We Are the Walrus, hidden gem. Now, if it's on Solana, okay, how do you say it? Solana?
Solana, I think.
Solana. We get in a lot of trouble for not saying it properly.
I know. I always want to say Solana, and then they're like, it's Solana.
It's Solana. I wanted to bring it up again because this is also in stealth mode, okay? It's also in stealth mode. It's probably the most exciting NFT project that I've got to get in the community early days, and I'm very, very excited about it. They just launched their whitelist, which guarantees you a spot if you get in early, the first 600, and I think there's about 1,600 spots for a whitelist total. And so I just wanted to bring it back up. I think you sent a tweet out to our community about it as well, so they can figure out.
I tweeted about it because the whitelist, yeah, they did. There's a link on their Twitter for the whitelist, and yeah, I don't know if those 600 spots are taken or not yet.
I don't know.
There's 600 there. I mean, I didn't know we were going to be talking about NFTs all of a sudden.
I just wanted to toss it in there because
okay, then I get to toss one of mine. Then.
When talking about Licks being this hidden gem that's not even on CoinMarketCap, We Are the Walrus to me is a hidden bloody gem.
Of course it is. And I told you, because I saw the artwork before you, I told you how great We Are the Walrus is going to be. But let me talk about one then too, if you're talking about an NFT.
I gave you the screen.
because you're in this one too.
Oh, I didn't think we were talking about this.
I
This
think-
is a real sleeper.
I don't even know what this. How do you say this?
Parametrized.
We're so bad at pronouncing
don't
stuff on this
know.
channel. Anyway, I wanted to throw this out there because you and I got into this one on the Mint.
I own a bunch of these. I
I
think
know,
I
I-
own 10% of the supply of
I own
Politicos.
I own a bunch of these too. So I thought I would tell our audience about them because these political boxes, these polita boxes here. So they this was the first.
This is definitely bias information, guys, because I bought a ton of these and we both own a ton of these. None of ours are for sale, though.
No, I'm not selling my.
None of them are
but
for
I want to
sale.
tell them why I'm not selling them.
Okay.
So this is the thing. Okay, so we bought. Both Marv and I bought a bunch of these, and they're basically political leaders or kings or royalty, but they're very cool. I love the artwork of them.
I know.
There were only 100 of them, okay? And I think people were really stoked about getting these. You and I got a bunch on the
Hey, I
Mint.
own that one. I own that one. Yeah.
I own this one right here.
Oh, yeah. I got way better ones than Milton.
Yeah,
by the
you
way.
did get better ones than me. But anyway, I just throw it out there because I don't know what they're selling for, but they're pretty they haven't really been selling very well. And so you've been able to get them for fairly cheap, I think. And not a lot of people know this, but so because it's their first collection, they're giving a ton of perks to whoever owns these Polita boxes, including, so their next drop is these Tensor boxes, which are also very cool. And if you own a Polita box, you get one of these for free. And so it might be worthwhile to grab a Polita box. You're not going to be buying mine or Marvin's. Ours aren't for sale because I'm waiting to get my Tensor boxes. And also, apparently, we get a bunch of other perks for being one of these Polita box owners.
One thing I really like about these guys is they don't care. They're not trying to pump this project. They've got a number of really artistic things going on. And so they're building a community. They're building real NFT art. They've got a few different types of drops, all very different. I'm putting them in my bag for a while. I might sell one or two over the course of the next year or two, but these are the types of projects that could really do really well. And I like you, I just like the art. And I like getting in on the early days NFTs because you don't know how rare you're going to mint.
I also, NFTs are turning me into an art aficionado.
And an aficionado. You feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
eh?
we're
You feel
cultured
important.
now.
You feel cultured.
Because Marv and I weren't cultured before.
I was always cultured. I was born cultured.
Now we're in crypto. We're cultured. Look at these beautiful things. Anyway, okay, Marv, what else should we talk about?
Can
We got
I
some
ask you
questions?
this? IE, Mr. IE, Cryptowise Familia, is part of here, right? He's here.
Yeah.
Do you know him, by the way? Do you know who he is?
No, I don't. No.
Because he's brilliant. Mr. IE, he should be on our team. This guy is in depth when it comes to DOT. Now, he's done his research. He's saying when it comes to Kusama, 49% of KSM supply is staked. 24% is located in auctions. 27% is currently circulating. I have to double check that. I haven't looked at it. And smaller market cap than DOT. Yes, smaller market cap. It is interesting. It is an interesting take because when you do look at Kusama and you look at the supply, right? Let me get my screen here. I am curious because why is Kusama then not pumped dramatically? Because you're right. I mean, a huge amount of the supply is being locked up, and it's a small supply. And here we are at 369. I would have suspected that Kusama would have been worth a lot more already by now with the parachains the way they are and the amount of support that it's getting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's the price action on Kusama has been interesting. It's been
Now, one more thing that he's brought up that I didn't know regarding the cello block and the Substrapunk. Did you know this? If you're one of the first people to lock 10 KSM for the Quartz crowd loan, you get a cello punk NFT. And
wait. What's a cello punk? A cello brick? you mean?
sorry, a cello brick,
Oh, okay.
a cello brick. And he was also saying something. If you have a Substrapunk and cello brick, you can also get an airdropped item from a Carina bird. Or no, a Canaria bird.
You can?
Yeah,
From Remark?
I guess. That's what he's saying.
Interesting. How do we get that?
Shoot us a message on Telegram or something, because
I love this IE guy.
I want to
He
be
knows his
friends with
stuff.
IE. He knows his stuff.
This guy
I
knows.
want him on the team. Bring him on the team, Milt.
Okay, so what about, so I've got Juno Network here because Johnny Reed, he's been watching for a while. He's
Johnny Reed.
been watching from back when the old show when it died. because your internet died.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
He's asking about Juno, the moon river.
I watched the movie. It's a good movie.
The moon river of the Cosmos ecosystem. I don't know about this. Juno Network.
I've heard about it. I didn't really dive into it yet.
I assume this is the one. It's hard to know if there's always multiple of these. So tell us if this is not the one, Johnny. But yeah, I mean, it must be because it's on the Atom, Juno, Osmo.
Looks like it.
Let's see the website here. Interesting. Smart contracts evolved. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interoperable smart contract network. It is. It's the Moon River for Cosmos.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Very cool. We should check that out some more.
Yeah. This is why I kind of hate throwing these up here on when we don't know what it's about.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's not a big penis or some breasts, because we get a lot of those projects sent our way these days with all the NFT stuff that we're doing.
That's true.
So this is why I love the Cryptowise community so much, because we're not just a community. Like our family of Cryptowise people,
yeah,
they're full-time crypto.
Oh, I know. I love it because you and I are. I didn't think you could be more full-time than us. But the thing is that crypto is so big now. And you've got me into the NFTs.
Sorry about that.
Polkadot, we got Solana now, we got Ethereum. There's so many networks to follow, but I do love Cosmos. You know that I'm on Sif Chain, and I have a bunch of Cosmos projects because I have liquidity on Sif Chain. I didn't know about Juno, so I'm going to be looking into this. So thank you, Johnny Reed, for tipping us off to this one, because I had not looked into this yet, and I should have, because this looks pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to do more research on this one.
Yeah, that's cool. I want to look into that too. If you have any burning desires, guys, we are going to be closing up this show pretty soon. Shoot us your questions in the chat. We have 61 of you in here right now. Thank you so much for joining us. It is not a large amount of people, Milt, but it's our dedicated family, and so we are so grateful to have you. Smash the like button, guys. We don't have enough likes. Please do us a huge favor. Smash the like buttons. Because of our internet interruption, unfortunately, we lost a bunch of those viewers and a bunch of those likes. So do us a huge favor and smash it again for us if you can. Yeah.
And also, I want to, since we've got our dedicated, audience, these are our blue chip audience.
We talked about integrity. We talked a lot about it. So I would recommend just rewinding to the beginning of this segment. Yeah, because we did a whole segment on integrity for you.
Yeah, and I was, because we had been cut off and stuff, sorry. I did go through the different changes in the crowd loan. So if you want to talk about that, if you want to hear about that, go back to the video and I'll talk more about this, because you guys, I was very open about the fact that integrity is one I'm all in on. I love integrity.
Me too.
So I will talk about it forever. I think it's a great, great project. I think it's up there with the Kilts, with the Akalas and all those, the main kind of major blue chip projects building on Polkadot. I think integrity is right there. It's more business to business, so it doesn't have the kind of the hype from the retail investor standpoint. But for me, I think that means it's an opportunity from an investment standpoint for me, not financial advice for anyone else, but for me, I love integrity.
Can I just add to what you're saying and echo that? One thing that I think on the retail side that investors don't understand, we all get sucked into the hype. We all get sucked into the projects that have good optics and well marketed, right? Some of the best investments I've ever made, some of the best projects I ever made are in the best tech, the best teams, early days when no one else was talking about it. And so integrity might not be the most talked about project yet. It is not. They haven't focused their time on marketing it like some of the others. But as that transforms and as it takes hold, now is the time you want to look at those projects. Not when everyone else is jumping in. Moonbeam, Moon River. Everyone has been talking about those. Akala forever now, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just with the herds on those ones.
This is exactly the perfect example. So someone said, you were also very bullish on Kilt in your previous video. Yeah, you're right. We were, and we still are. Kilt is kind of a perfect example because we were talking about Kilt before anyone else.
We brought Kilt up to I remember bringing it up to some of our biggest crypto friends that have been in crypto for the last 5-10 years with us. And we said, we're very bullish on Kilt. Want you to look at Kilt. They go, what's Kilt?
Oh, I know.
Oh, and they look at the website. They go, I've never even heard of this.
But
and now they're freaking calling us going, how do we get some Kilt?
And Kilt to me was exactly like integrity. No one was
Focused on tech.
Yeah, focused on tech. Not really, you know, not a sexy kind of project. But when it came out and got the Parachain, were you shocked at how popular it was with all the memes of Braveheart and all that kind of stuff?
It just popped. I was shocked.
So you never know, like Kilt, you know, and we're going to hopefully have Ingo, who's the founder of Kilt, on Cryptowise chats in the next few weeks.
He's brilliant.
I've been messaging with him. He's going to come on. It's just a matter of scheduling. But I think Integrity, and they just partnered and announced that they did partner Kilt and Integrity. So I was surprised that Kilt had such a huge fan base within crypto after it launched, not when we first started talking about it. But I think the same thing could happen with Integrity. That's what I'm kind of banking on.
So a big chunk, I talked about how I have over 75% of my portfolio in DOT right now, guys. Okay. Integrity and Kilt are going to be two of my biggest bags in terms of parachains. FYI. So later on, you don't go, oh, you're telling me later. That I'm telling them now, Milt.
Yeah.
They're going to be two of my biggest bags for parachains.
And Integrity's token, Tier, you can't buy it. It's not out yet.
No.
But if you join the crowd loan, like what we said that we did and that you could have, you would already have your Kusama back and be waiting for some free Tier. So if you didn't do that, I would do it this time and help them get a parachain. Because you just get free Tier. Like you get your Kusama back and then you get free Tier. It's a no-brainer.
You're saying, but the downside is that there's no plans for becoming a parachain on DOT.
No, but for Kilt?
I don't know if he's referring to Kilt or
Integrity. It's the same. Both of them are doing the same kind of strategy, which is if they ever need to move to DOT, they'll move to DOT. But they're launching on Kusama, which I think is smart. As an investor, I like it better because they have one token. There's a Tier token. You don't have to worry about the sister token. The way that Kylan is going through that right now, you're never going to have to deal with that with Kilt. There's one Kilt token, one Tier token. And they'll be on Kusama. And if they feel like, oh, okay, we need to go to DOT now we need that security or whatever, they'll move over to DOT. But yeah, they're only going to ever have one parachain, which is a different strategy. But I think I kind of like it because it makes it easier as an investor.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, Marv. Well, are we going to wrap up today's show? Any further questions out there, anyone, before we wrap it up? Marv and I are in the same city for the next few weeks, so we're going to be doing kind of a different kind. We're going to be experimenting with different kind of videos. We'll do some lives here and there, but we're also going to be recording together. So definitely make sure you send us some comments. Let us know how you're liking the shows, what you think we should do differently, try different things. Now that we're in the same city, we can kind of experiment. Think of the next few weeks on Cryptowise like the Kusama canary chain of Cryptowise. We can be more experimental, more innovative. We can jump on and do live shows easier. So let us know.
Definitely let us know. Smash up the likes, guys. Smash them up. We really appreciate everyone who's part of the Cryptowise family, everyone that participated in today's show. Thank you. Yes, you can contribute now to Integrity to answer your question. Honestly, guys, Milt, I'm in awe of the Cryptowise community. Our family is growing. It's amazing. And stay tuned because we got a ton of content coming to you all very, very soon.